What's going on, y'all? Sean of Math Swap Tutoring here. And in this video, I want to tell you how you can become better at math from an engineer. I am an electronics engineer. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in those. And I'm going to talk to you today about what I've learned actually helps you to become better at math. I've done a lot of math. That's almost all I did in college as an engineer. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing is probably the most obvious thing, but it's a thing that people don't really understand. You need to do a lot of math. You're already supposed to be doing your homework. You're already supposed to be, studying for your tests and things like that, taking notes in class, but you need to do a lot of math. One thing I've learned as an engineer and even as a math tutor is that the more math you do, the more math you remember and the more skilled you become at the math. Okay. You remember it better. And so you need to, this is what you need to do if you really want to become better. You need to take an audit of your day, all the time that you spend in a day doing whatever, like whether, sleeping, eating, computer time, social media, so on and so forth. And you need to see what can be where you can put in time. I would challenge you daily if you really want to get better at math to find to work problems, okay? Now, it may seem like overkill, but here's the deal. If you really want to get better at math, you need to do a lot of problems. One thing that being a math tutor has afforded me is the opportunity to do math almost all the time. And so consequentially, that makes me even better at math than I was when I was in high school and college. And I was good in math. So I'm even better at math now because I've done it all the time for years. Okay? So that's tip number 1. Do a lot of math, but make sure that you really do a lot more math. Find extra problems in your textbook if you still use textbooks or PDFs from your school. There's a lot of online resources from Khan Academy to IXL to Delta Math and so on and so forth. So many resources where you can do extra math problems. And it doesn't even take, you know, an hour. You can just take 15 extra minutes outside of your homework time, but do a lot of math. Become one who does math frequently so that you can develop the math muscle. Tip number 2, to become better at math, find somebody to tutor. Now, I just recently mentioned that being a math tutor in and of itself has helped me to get better at math. Because here's what happens. True, all of the math that I tutor is math that I've done before, but there were some concepts, for example, especially in geometry, which is my least liked math. There were concepts in that math when I was in high school that I didn't really fully understand or even appreciate until now, until I became a tutor. Okay. So, what I want you to do, even if it's a math that you're already taking, if you can find somebody, maybe even like a study buddy or something like that, and you can help to tutor that person in math, what that will do is sharpen your own math skills. Trust me, I wouldn't be saying this if it were not true. I'd heard it before, but now I know it's actually true. Find somebody to teach yourself or to tutor to help. And what happens is it's going to cause you to dig deeper, and it also will cause you to look at math, look at the math from a different perspective. Sometimes all it takes is for you to look at it from a different perspective to see what's going on. Try to find somebody to tutor. Try to find somebody who you can help because it will oftentimes pull something out of you that helps you to learn math better. Tip number 3 to become better at math, you need to read it and write it. Okay. Now, let me explain what I mean. So, when I say read math, for example, I'm assuming you already take notes. I'm assuming you do that. Hopefully, you do. So, you need to read your notes. You need to read the textbook assignments whenever your teacher says, "Hey, read this chapter. We're going to talk about this math topic next class." You need to be reading that stuff, but you also need to be writing it. If you have example problems in the book, you need to be writing those things out. and solving them. Now, the advantage is that if it's example problems in your textbook, they're already solved step by step. And so what you need to do is you need to go through and solve the example problems. Try not to look at it at the full solution, solve it, and then look at the example, the how they spelled out the solution as you solve it, as you need help. And of course to confirm your answer as well. But the reason why this is important, oh, same thing with your notes too. Even if you did the examples in class that are in your notes, do them again. Here's the key. When we learn things, it tends to help when we learn things with various different ways. So reading, with your eyes, listening with your ears, writing with your hands. In this digital world, a lot of times students are not necessarily writing stuff as much. They're looking and saying, "Oh, I got it." Don't just read. Don't just read. Your brain doesn't work that way. You can learn to a degree with the reading, but you need to reinforce your learning with as many methods as possible. Okay? Even if you are a certain type of learner, like you learn by seeing examples written out or you learn by hearing or whatever it is, you need to still be reinforcing your learning with writing, with reading, with as many modes of learning as possible. So, especially in this digital world, do not put your pencil down, pick your pencil up and write the stuff out. Oh, and let me add this onto this tip too. Only use your calculator as much as you need to. Don't use it to do the whole problem, okay? Don't just program everything into your calculator and let the calculator solve, because a lot of ways you're not really learning the math. Let's be honest. And tip number 4 to become better at math is probably the most important. You need to change your negative beliefs about you as it pertains to math, okay? I've had students who I tutored who were very smart, but they lacked confidence around math because they just always kind of had an issue with math. Maybe somebody told them they weren't good at math, or whatever the case may be, they always lacked confidence, and you could hear it in their words. I'm not really the best at this stuff. Not me and math don't get along. Different things like that. But here's the deal. First of all, we have to stop thinking that you're just born with a gift to do math or not. Now, some people may have a knack for math. They may be born with a knack for picking it up pretty quickly, but math is like a sport. You can improve in it. Trust me. It's just like you weren't born knowing how to play basketball or tennis or whatever your favorite sport is that you play. However, if you go to practice, if you watch it, if you practice on your own, et cetera, what happens is you learn the sport, you improve in the sport. And math is the same way. A lot of times it's just a matter of laying down the correct brain pathways, and that comes from repetition. Repetition is one of the main ways we learn. I say all that to say you can improve in math no matter what you believe. This is the truth. Here's the second thing. If you already feel negative about yourself in math and you're speaking negatively about yourself, what happens is it's going to be hard. It's like you're fighting an uphill battle. It's going to be hard for you to even take the steps to improve in math, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, if you have a big boat like a cruise ship and it's going in a certain direction, that huge heavy ship is pointed in this direction, and if it needs to go this way, it can, but it's going to take a lot of effort. So what you need to do is you need to go ahead and change your beliefs about you in math. What you need to believe is you can improve in math, that you will improve in math, that math is like a sport and everybody can get better at it if only they believe that they can. Now, I know for some this might seem kind of nebulous and kind of like, that just sounds kind of sappy and whatnot. But you have to understand what I'm saying. The body follows the mind. Whatever it is that we actually believe, that determines what we do. So if you believe that you can improve in math, you can. If you don't believe that you can improve in math, then you won't. It's that simple. It really is. So these are my 4 tips for how you can become better at math. Let me know which tip spoke to you the most. Tip one, two, three, or 4. Put that in the comments. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share this with a classmate as well. Okay. All right. Take care.